What's going on? I'm Sheila Matthews.
And I'm Martenzie Johnson.
And welcome to your favorite internet show, Logged In. So, social media was buzzing this past week, and we're going to dive into Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, weed in the church, and more. So we got to kick it off with Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. That situation is finally going to be resolved, and the trial began this week with Meg testifying on Tuesday. Tory is accused of shooting Meg in both feet in July 2020. Martenzie, it's a lot to unpack, but what are your thoughts on this situation?
Basically, if I was Daystar, I would be a bit confused. I'm no lawyer, I'm no Molly Carter, but the fact that the prosecution is saying, one, that the friend, Kelsey Harris, is going to testify against him, saying that he did shoot Meg, not to mention there being text messages of her the same day saying that he shot Meg. Look, again, I'm no lawyer, but I would be very concerned if I was Daystar.
Yeah, everyone, to your point, has turned into the TV lawyer. People have turned into Phaedra Parks out here. Now everybody has these facts that I don't even think the courtroom has yet. So it has been kind of telling, though, to see how people on Twitter have been reacting. But
it's been Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter does these things, you know. Yeah.
And let's look at some of these tweet reactions to see what people are saying about the trial so far. The Tory Lanez and Meg case is 100% an example of why so many women think it's pointless to report when harm is done to them. Celebrity or not, the responses and defenses are predictable. All internet gossip aside, someone shot Meg. She's not on trial here. That's a fact. It's Tory Lanez versus the state last time I checked.
Yeah, and his defense has kind of muddied the water here and kind of made it about what she may or may or not been doing before this incident happened, with whom it might have happened with. Shout out to you, Ben Simmons. But at the end of the day, it has nothing to do really with what Meg was doing. It's she accused someone of shooting her, and it appears Daystar is the one who did it.
Well, this leads us to reaction number 2. I personally don't care if Megan Thee Stallion slept with the entire city of Houston. Why was she shot? That's a fact. Look, the baby said he might have been with Megan as well, but that doesn't correlate to being shot.
Yeah, and this, again, goes back to everything I say about how men will accuse women of doing certain things when they're guilty of it themselves. So women are the messy ones, women are the ones who pillow talk, and here we got two people pillow talking their ass off.
Well, Twitter reaction number 3. The public's response to Megan Thee Stallion's situation is crazy. She said she was shot, and folks were just like, nah, she's lying. Let the court solve everything, but that's some weird behavior by some of y'all's friends.
It's the internet, it's Twitter, that's what they do. It's not all that shocking to me.
Twitter is the courtroom. Everyone had a Twitter jury selection, we just must have missed it.
Yeah, this is the same Twitter that said we were getting COVID from 5G towers, so.
Well, that was Carrie Hilson who said that.
Shout out to her.
By the time this airs, Megan and Kelsey Harris will have taken a stand, but let this be a reminder to wait for things to play out in the court of law before reacting on Twitter. Now, on to dating coach Derek Jackson. So after admitting to cheating on his wife for the second time and forcing her to do a YouTube reaction video, the relationship guru has filed for divorce. Martenzie, quite the turn of events, wouldn't you say?
Derek Jackson, like
where do we begin?
First, the photos of him being caught in Miami with a woman who is not his wife. He did the "you can't see me," hiding in her Instagram stories type of thing. Like, Derek, we know it's you. No one's buff like that. But then also, this goes to show again, any man who's really high up on being a relationship guru or being a Christian guru or whatever it might be, he might just be full of shit. I don't know.
His wife putting a hex on us through her video, like, baby, the devil works hard, but Tasha K works harder because she keep catching your man out here acting a little crazy.
Yeah. Maybe you should have put a curse on him to stay in his marriage.
Well, you've heard our thoughts on the situation. Let's see what Twitter had to say. Derek Jackson's wife having more smoke for people talking about her husband than her husband is why I'm glad I'm not religious anymore. Girl, if you don't close that Bible and open up them legs to someone who ain't out here embarrassing you.
Yeah, you caught me off guard with that one. I was gonna say that's not what John 3:16 says, but if you want to bring up Diddy, that's another funny situation because man.
Well, Twitter reaction number 2 says, when y'all said Derek Jackson's wife was cursing, I thought y'all meant she was using expletives, not wishing death and Egyptian plagues on the people. LMFAO. No, because I really am LMFAOing at her. She's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like the Prince of Egypt when like the locusts and all that stuff came at the end of the movie and kill your firstborn. Like that's what she tried to do.
Like, girl, BFFR, you said that you wish that people who are married become widows. Like, I just turned it off. That was heavy.
If your husband keep moving the way he moving.
Reaction number 3, Derek Jackson is the reason black women lose faith in black love. Cause finding out the men who say all the things you want to hear are liars would have me triggered and annoyed too.
Come on, son. Like, again, you knew who this man was when you got there. Anyone who claims to be a relationship guru is a hack and a snake oil salesman, and this man is that. So you really can't be surprised by this. This isn't a whole black woman thing. This is a woman who couldn't see what her husband was for who he was.
I mean, the moment a man cheats on you, then makes you sit on camera and tell the world why you're staying.
So I just rewatched the video. Not only did he say he cheated on, he went into explicit detail almost of how he did. He said it wasn't just sex, it was more sexual activity. It wasn't just kissing, it was all this while she's sitting there taking it all in with the rest of us.
Well, after all that talk, I think we need some Jesus. And Pastor Jamal Bryant wants to bring black men back to the church by growing weed. Martenzie, they won't be high enough to speak to the Lord at that church.
Yeah. Mr. Jamal Bryant here. I'm usually not a fan of his, but
Mr. Jamal Bryant.
He's made some points here. I haven't been to church in decades. I might consider it.
I'm just confused. Like, it's gonna be like a hot box church session? Like,
again, I would be an avid participant in that if he was.
Look, I don't know if I condone this, but I am curious to see how it will play out.
Look, man, where else can you go to praise the Lord and get high at the same time? It's just not too many places in the world that you can do that.
I mean, Bedside Baptist. What you do in your house, what you do in your house. I guess what Jamal Bryant said is what he does in his house is what he does in his house. So now that you know our thoughts on the Green Church, let's see what Twitter has to say about it too. It's very weird to me that out of all the things Pastor Jamal Bryant can do, he wants to grow a cannabis farm. He can start a community garden, build a homeless shelter, or a food pantry, even private learning academies or daycares. But you want to grow weed, huh?
Oh, brother. Like, don't nobody want no charter school when we talking about weed in the church. Like, a community garden can't give me the devil's lettuce, right? Like, that's what Jamal Bryant's church can do. Like, you, person who wrote this tweet, maybe you need to go to this church because God, you're on your high horse a little bit.
I mean, I just feel like I just heard a lot of contradictions. The devil's lettuce, the church, I don't know.
Jamal Bryant is a believer, and I believe in him.
Well, reaction number 2 says, Pastor Jamal Bryant using weed to attract black men to the church is the equivalent of using twerking strippers to get black men to the voting polls. This constant mainstream reinforcing of stereotypes about black men is very concerning.
We gotta stop sending people to college because they learn these big words and then all of a sudden they can't have fun in their life no more. We're not reinforcing stereotypes. You know, if I was a person who went to dispensaries, I would notice at these dispensaries that there's more white people there than any black people. So it's not just a black person thing. But I don't go to those places, so.
Reaction number 3 says, how come when a church member wants to jump in weed, y'all start questioning his niche? I would be honored to smoke a strand called the Most High. Hear me out. You know, sometimes the names get you, where you're like, I don't quite know what that is, but I like the name.
Yeah, gelato don't taste like that.
Purple haze don't get you there like the Most High. Like, he might be onto something. Well, in other news, R. Kelly dropped an album called I Admit It, or at least someone else did. Apparently, Kelly's master recordings were stolen around the time of his arrest in February 2019, and it's not the first time he's had some songs stolen. Who wants that music?
Yeah, this is like the Wild Boy episode of Logged In. I was not foreseeing more R. Kelly content, but yeah, this happened in 2018 where this song came out. I didn't listen to it then because 1, I ain't listened to a 19-minute song, but 2, even if he was admitting to something, I don't want to hear that either. So for all those who did listen to the short amount of time that it was on Spotify, good for you, but I just don't care.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get indicted into this Twitter jury either, so I couldn't give him the stream. I did, however, read some segments of this song, and just seeing how he's been acting up until now, I think personally he did it and thought we would receive it better than it was. And now that it's not, this is his cop-out.
Yeah, a couple decades ago, O.J. Simpson wrote a book called I Admit It or I Did It or something of that sort. It's the same thing here where I really don't care if you did or didn't. In your words, I don't want to read that.
I don't want to read it, I don't want to hear it, and we're going to move on right past Robert Kelly in this situation. So our last segment of the day is after 7 years, Trevor Noah is leaving The Daily Show. In his last show, he made sure to thank all the people who helped him along the way, but most importantly, Black women. If Trevor's going to pass the torch, who do you want it to be? Because I got my pick.
Who you got?
This is the Z-Way Stan account. Z-Way, I love her. I think her comedic timing is perfect. She asks the tough questions and she makes things awkwardly uncomfortable, but just enough to get a reaction, so I love it.
Yeah, I saw her most recent episode with the blue vest, and yeah.
With her blue vest on too, and that was genius.
Black Lives Matter. Whew. Roy Woods Jr. is my pick, and it's solely based on an episode where he's interviewing American actress and Black Lives Matter activist herself, Lisa Ann, and there is a clip of him just grinning and sinning, and I can't just get that picture out of my mind, so he deserves it off of that alone.
Well, I think we can agree on one thing, that we just want to see another person of color fill in as the host.
Black person.
Period. Period. Martenzie, it's been a pleasure as always. Tell the folks where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at MartenziJ and on Twitter at 10zJohnson.
And you can find me on Instagram at toldby.she and Twitter at toldbyshe. But remember, follow the show on all platforms at Andscape. Show us some love on the YouTube channel and let us know in the comments what you want to hear about on the next show. Bye, everybody.